Good morning. Welcome to Peace Out. Take 73. That's not really that many. It feels that way sometimes though, right? Anyway, technology is great until it's not. That's all right. Just another reason to peace out. We're going to get this done. Whether it's the easy way or the hard way. We're going to work out some technical issues. So I'm sorry. I was actually on time and then technical issues. So I turned my Wi-Fi off. Sometimes that works better. And I probably just need to turn my phone off and back on. We need to do that sometimes too, right? Just turn all systems down, all systems up, right? Let everything get a reboot. Hey, you guys, grab a copy of the James Study Guide. We're not doing this one yet in a class. We have 2 weeks left of Making of a Leader. We've been doing that on Thursday nights. And I think then after that, we're going to do the Gifts of the Spirit. Study guide is just a basic look at the gifts that God gave us in 1 Corinthians 12 and I believe Romans 12 also. And the Ephesians 4 also. And we're going to do that one. And then maybe we'll do James. I don't know. But this week we've been in James and I have so enjoyed James. I've read it every single morning and sometimes at night too. Imagine that, right? But so this is the book of the week. Grab a copy of James from my Amazon and the link is there and it's pinned in the comments, I believe. If technology is working right on that end, right? Anyway, it's a good day to trust God. It's just a good day to just go, God, what do you want me to do today? How can I serve you today? How can I bless you today? How can I minister to you today, God? How can I fellowship with you today? It's just a good day to just know God and know that he's right there, right here, wherever our here has us right this minute. He's there too, right? We didn't go somewhere and leave him at home. We don't stay at home and leave him somewhere else. He's always with us. I love that about God. I love a lot of things about God, but don't get me started on that, right? Maybe we'll do that next week. What I love about God. I don't know. Anyway, so this morning I'm finishing up this excursion through James. I'm going to end up in chapter 1. So I kind of went all zigzag through the book, right? But in chapter 1, this one jumped out at me this morning. Verse 19 says, "My dearest brothers and sisters, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry." Your anger can never make things right in God's sight. So he says, be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to anger. Well, I kind of focused on the anger part for a little bit at the first because I was like, does that mean is there a control button? Can I turn my response time down? Should I take more time? And I thought, well, actually, if we are quicker to hear and slower to speak in especially some specific circumstances, we will be slower to anger because we're stopping, we're listening, we're processing, we're thinking before we speak or before we're engaging. Then sometimes that kind of takes care of the slow to anger part anyway, right? But I really went back to slow to speak. I've had a couple of conversations lately where the person was just talk to me. And I'm like, I can't even get a word in edgewise. I know that's hard to imagine, but it actually really happened. And, so I was like, this is an interesting conversation. It's not really a conversation at all. I'm just listening. And so I've learned to just listen to what this person is saying. And it's okay to be slow to speak. It's okay to be quick to listen. If we could just get that process, listen and then wait before we speak, before we respond to a post, before we jump into some boat with some protest or some anything, listen more, learn more about it before we engage that speaking part, right? We can save ourselves a lot of trouble. But then as I was reading this, slow to speak, what does that really mean? Slow to speak. Don't be quick off with stuff real fast, right? And I thought, well, now in chapter 3 of James, he tells us that the tongue is, nobody can tame the tongue. He actually says no one can. In verse 7, he says, people can tame all kinds of animals and birds and reptiles and fish. Tame the fish. Okay. But no one can tame the tongue. It's an uncontrollable evil full of deadly poison. Sometimes it praises God and sometimes it curses man. And he's like, you can't have bitter and sweet water. It's either bitter or it's sweet coming out of your mouth. Our souls are producing either sweet water or bitter water, period. Because if there's any bitter in it, sweet water's not sweet anymore, right? It's like putting salt in a glass of water. You can't make it unsalty now. It's got salt in it, right? So it's either salt water or it's fresh. And that's why we want to guard our mouth so that everything that comes out blesses God, right? Even if we're speaking blessing over a person or giving encouraging words or sharing a devotional out of scripture, whatever we're speaking. But then I thought he just said that no one can really tame the tongue. It says no one can really tame, you can tame all these other things, but can anyone tame the tongue? And I thought, hold on. I've talked about this before. It's been a long time, but I went back to Luke 6:45, and here's what Jesus said. If I can find that little number there. Okay. He says, a good person, this is in red. So Jesus said it. Okay. It counts more? No, not really. He said it all, right? A good person produces good deeds from a good heart, and an evil person produces evil deeds from an evil heart. Listen how the New Living says this part of this verse. Whatever is in your heart determines what you say. I'm like, wow, that broke it down. I believe the King James says that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. But this New Living really breaks it down. Whatever is in your heart determines what you say. So I'm like, okay, maybe I can't control my tongue, but I can sure control my heart, right? I can determine what I set my heart on. I can determine what I even put my mind on and what comes in. Proverbs, I believe it's chapter 4, says, guard your heart with all diligence, because from your heart come the issues of life. He also says that death and life are in the power of the tongue. But if we go back to guarding our heart, what we let rule inside this vessel of ours, right? Inside our heart, and what we keep our minds on, if we keep a guard up over our heart and only focus on, like Philippians 4, the things that are pure and honest and just and true and noble and perfect, which is this word, right? If we focus on those things and keep our heart on those things, then that's what will be in our heart. When we protect what goes into our heart, that's what our words will come from, is what's in our heart. So to be slow to speak means I'm quick to guard my heart, to not let trash in, to not let violent things in, to not let bad things in. I didn't make a list, sorry, right? But to protect our heart means I'm not allowing all these things to become part of me, because what we allow into our heart becomes part of us, and that's where we speak from. That's some heavy stuff. What kind of devotion is this? Who pushed that button, right? But it all goes back to guarding our heart. Isn't that the same thing with peace? Doesn't it say that we can let the peace of God guard our hearts? When we trust him, it says, let the peace of God rule in your heart. There's also the one that says that when we cast all our cares on him, his peace will guard our hearts. So God's helping us. We don't have to do it all by ourselves. When we see something or hear something that doesn't match up with the peace he gave us, we can get rid of that. We don't have to pursue that. We don't have to let something be put on us or in us. We can say, I don't want that in me. I want God in me. I want this word in me. I want what's noble and just and true and perfect and honest and pure, like this word, the truth. I want the truth in my heart. Because when we put that in our heart, that's what's going to come out. You cannot put something else in your heart and expect peace to come out. You can't major on violence, on being hateful to people, and trying to get people back or trying to get that last word in. You can't major on that and have peace come out of your heart, because when you've got anger in your heart, okay, I'm going to say it this way. When I've got, because I'm talking to me right now, right? When I've got anger in my heart and I'm mad at everybody, I have those days, weeks sometimes. I'm mad at everybody. If I harbor that, if I nurture that, that's what's going to grow in my heart. If I focus on, God said, love everybody, and I don't know how to do that, you know what? It's okay. Just say, God, I don't know how to love everybody, because some of these people, did you see them people? I don't know. But if I think more about his love than I do about how distasteful a person is or a situation is, I focus on God. That's what I nurture in my heart. Then when I start talking, guess what's going to come out? What I've nurtured in my heart. If I nurture violence and hatred and bigotry and hypocrisy and whatever, fill in the blank with any other vile word you can think of. If I nurture those things in my heart, that's what's going to come out of my mouth. And I'm not going to be slow to speak. I'm going to be quick to jump into those kind of things. But when I nurture God's love, his peace, I nurture this word in my heart, then guess what's going to come out of my mouth all day long? Scares me sometimes. It's going to be his word. It's going to be his peace. It's going to be his love. It's going to be the joy that he gives us. It's going to be based around that fruit of the Spirit as I nurture what God puts in my heart, as I nurture the word that I meditate on and put in my heart, as I nurture God's love, God's peace, God's forgiveness, God's righteousness. I think about the cross, right? Which was violent, by the way, but it was violent so that we could walk in peace. When I think about those things, and that becomes the focus of my heart, that becomes what I nurture my heart with, I feed my heart with, then when I begin to speak, guess what's going to come out? It's going to be peace. It's going to be love. It's going to be joy, patience, goodness, kindness. It's going to be this word. Whatever you nurture in your heart will dictate your speech. Let me read it again. Whatever is in your heart determines what you say. So we could tell a lot about a person by a conversation. Even though we don't have time to get a word in edgewise, we can tell what's in a person's heart. But they can tell what's in our heart by our conversation, by what we desire to talk about, by what we desire to share, right? So let's all decide, I'm going to nurture what God put in my heart. I'm going to nurture God's word in my heart. I'm going to nurture peace in my heart. I'm going to roll my cares over on him and let his peace reign in my heart so that when I speak, I'll be slow to speak, but when I speak, peace comes out. You never know who might need that little bit of peace in their soul today. Share his peace and have a great day. Have a great weekend. Peace out. See you guys bright and early Monday morning.